Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the Furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 16, episode 8, and there could not be a more important game than the one today. It's first place Torquay United v second place Tottenham, and if the home side win, they'll go within 3 points of us, and that with a game in hand as well. So in 2 games time, if we lose this one, it could be all square in the Premier League, and a title race will go right down to the wire, as Spurs have reeled us in brilliantly. We've certainly contributed to that downfall ourselves with some really poor performances, particularly in terms of drawing games we really should have won, but we're still just about top of the league, and today if we manage to get any sort of positive result, we'll almost certainly be Premier League champions. We've got 2 games coming up after which we really should be winning, away to 13th place Aston Villa, and at home to 10th place Bournemouth, and then the likes of Everton at home as well, are games where we'll fancy our chances, with a crowd behind us at the Torquay Stadium. So we'll certainly be back if there is a game before the end of the season where we may be able to win or lose the title, and then of course we'll show the Chelsea game as well, as I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to boil down to. But if you're not up to date with the season so far and the new schedule on the channel, please do go back and catch up with it. It's been a real roller coaster ride, particularly now as we start to come back down and try to survive at the top of the table. We can still get to 95 points though, and that would be enough to win the title. That of course includes a win today though, something that's certainly not a given. And you may be able to see at the top of the screen, we're starting to have injury problems too. We're missing 2 of our first choice back 4 today, and Cisse has picked up a broken leg and he's going to be out for 4 or 5 months. And the worst thing about that injury is that it wasn't even in a match he did that. If we scroll down we'll go and find it. It was just a matter of a few days ago, and unfortunately in training one of his teammates broke his leg in a tackle on the receiving end of a training challenge, and he's now out for 5 months. We've got Torquay out for just under a month too, so both will miss the majority or all of the run-in, and that means we're relying on Richard Quirk, the man who's been unhappy all season. Last time we bought him on Everson at centre-half, we didn't really have the best game, but we're hoping he'll be able to do something special today, just to see us over the line. If we go and have a look at the schedule, we have played a few games since the last episode. You were of course with me for that magical FA Cup tie, as we lost 1-0 to City in the very last moment. Since then we have done okay, but again 2 more points dropped, and Spurs have been absolutely flawless, which is why they're getting a bit closer. And I've just recognised from their injuries there, they've got another player that we recognise from our head coach series, Claudio Gomez, the central midfielder, 33 years old now, and with a pulled groin he's unlikely to feature today, something that will probably benefit us. But in the 3 games we played, we had a comfortable win at home to Watford, Kyle McDonald with an early own goal after Omar had got a quick fire brace, and then Torquay got a third in the second half, something that of course won't happen in this one. Then away to United we nicked what was a crucial point in the end. We played really well but unfortunately conceded the lead, Rob Cooper with the goal early in the second half, but Dimitri lapping off the bench, as has so often been the case in this series, with a late equaliser to get us a point, and it may well turn out to be a crucial one. And then finally at home to Southampton, we won 2-0 with a goal in each half. Cater again from midfield and Maurice the left back, as our strikers continue to misfire in front of goal. And that leads us into this Tottenham one on TV. It's going to be such a crucial game in this title race. I'm not sure who Spurs have got left after. Seems like they've had a run of easy games, but oh, look at their running. I'm suddenly more hopeful. They've got Sheffield United at home next Saturday, but then Chelsea, Everton, City and Liverpool. I need some of them to do us a favour. They're also in the FA Cup final against City, so maybe they'll have one eye on that one too. So a little more confident now, but it means nothing if we don't get a result today, as they'll physically be able to catch us, and that's something that really does worry me. So let's go and have a look at our lineup for the match. Tottenham are favourites according to the media. They've won their last 4 games on the bounce, and we're in inconsistent form. So certainly some worries ahead of us here, and we've got to be really focused if we want to get a point. The changes at the back of course are not ideal, and we've got wet windy conditions which certainly won't help the pitch. At a full house in front of nearly 80,000 at the Tottenham Stadium, certainly going to be a daunting prospect. But we have made the changes to our team where possible, and of course most of those are in defence. So it's Stojanovic in goal as always, Richard Quirk back in at right back. We really need him to buck his ideas up now and stop worrying about what's going on off the pitch. Bruno Moraes continues on the left, with McDonnell alongside Moniverson in the middle. He's come back into the side for the injured Hull. Backenez in the holding role, Cater and Omar in central midfield. The mighty trio are there and could lead us over the line, but they're going to need to protect the boys behind them a bit. We've got Silla and Sousa on the wings, as unfortunately Daniel Kozzel's not fit yet. Had a little knock and he's not back to a good condition, so he's not going to start today. Yaladian stays on the bench for now, as Sousa's been performing quite well. Then Andrade's back in up front as Rutherford's been misfiring, so hopefully he'll find a goal today, otherwise we could be in a world of trouble. Let's go and get into this match. We've got Rutherford, Opoku and Lappin on the bench, as well as some defensive options if needed, so I'm really hoping we'll be able to get a point, and we may have to drop our mentality to do so. Winning ugly would be the ideal scenario. It certainly doesn't need to be a pretty performance. So let's go and talk to the lads. We're going to tell them to pick up where they left off, as we did play quite well against Southampton, and we're also going to go to a balanced mentality, and in addition we're going to make our fullback supporters rather than being on an attacking duty. Well, we've done that, we've often been outclassed on the wings before, so I just want to make sure we've got a solid base. Let's go and get into the first half of this game, as we put ourselves in the best possible position. Fingers crossed we can get over the line. The last change I'm going to make is to the tempo, just to drop it to a standard one, so we keep possession a little bit more nicely, rather than trying to rush the ball forward. We're not scoring goals up front anyway, so why give it to Andrade straight away? It's Charlton on the left though for Tottenham, into the box and cleared away. Backenez brings it down with great composure, and Omar clears it as the highlight ends. 5 minutes gone, it's goalless at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but they're certainly having the early chances. Murdoch with a free header 6 yards out, and this one's just over the bar from the corner. It's a free kick from a race on the left-hand side, just inside the Tottenham half. It's catered to Backenez now and out to Richard Quirk. He's got to produce something special today. He might be unhappy, but he's homegrown at the club. The fans love him and will support him, and Silla's got it now 25 yards out, but he's lost possession and it's cleared away. Hancock at left-back for Spurs, cutting inside to Nota Francesco. Gruber and Laurent in the middle. Spurs keeping possession well, don't seem to be in a rush to get it forward. They just want to keep the football. McDonnell wins it back on the edge of the box, but he's lost the second challenge, and in the end it's a really good chance for Spurs, but he put it wide of the post and it remains 0-0. It's a throw on the left for Tottenham, who continue to come forward. They have had most of the chances in this game, and I'm thinking to go to a positive mentality, just because we're getting pushed back a little here. We've got the players on more defensive duties, so do we need to drop our mentality as well? We'll see out this highlight before making a decision, as Hancock and Montero exchange a 1-2. Back out to the left-hand side again for Spurs. Good structure and shape from our boys at the moment. Tottenham not able to find a route through, but they've got the sort of players that can find a pass to change that. Montero at the back to Murdoch as they go down the middle again, and just as we said it, Nozov hits the post. McDonnell beaten in the air again. Really had a poor little run by his standards. We mentioned the own goal he scored as well, and he's made 2 or 3 mistakes like that too. We obviously had the one against Manchester City in the Cup, so there are a few concerns about his form. Backenez heads away the corner, or the throw-in, on the left-hand side, as Laurent gets it back for Spurs. Up to Nota Francesco, into Nozov on the edge of the box. Good effort, a snapshot, but Stojanovic saves to his right. We're going to go to a positive mentality, just because we're getting pegged back, but Spurs are still on top on the edge of the box, and they're not far from taking the lead there. A good block in the end from the centre-half McDonnell, and it's out for an in-swinging corner. It's delivered into the box to Murdoch. He wins the header again, but it's straight into the arms of the keeper, and we survived the first half an hour. And now we've got a corner at the other end. Omar into Moniverson. It bobbles down and Backenez can't get enough on it. In the end, Spurs hack it away for a throw as we get a warning to close down Nozov. He's looked the most likely for Spurs up front, but we just had the best chance of the match. It's a free kick on the left, it's Omar to deliver, in it drops down, it beats everyone, but Murdoch gets there first to hack away. A world-class centre-half who we've tried to sign, but we just can't afford 100 million. Omar gets a second chance at the edge of the box, but it's a tame effort for Carvalho down to his left. Hancock with a throw for Spurs now. Charlton crosses and it's deflected away. Might have been off his own player there, as it's now back to Laurent in the middle. Spurs keeping it, they're not really too intent in getting forward quickly, but when they are, they're creating creating good chances, and in the end they're waiting for the right opportunities to really cause us some trouble. Diogo Sousa for some reason's marking Nozov, so we had a warning to close him down. The centre forward for Spurs, as another shot goes straight into Stojanovic's hands, and the man our assistant manager's picked is Diogo Sousa, the right winger, to go and mark him. What sort of common sense is that? We really need our assistants to be performing well. Jelin's really not a Premier League standard assistant, so it is something we might have to think about in the summer. The same for Jokanovic, the director of football. There might be an overhaul coming at the club. But we've made it to half time at 0-0, and we're just going to go and encourage the lads. I know it's not the best performance and it has been a bit ugly, but this result would be absolutely fantastic. Anything other than a Tottenham win keeps the title race in our hands, and that's all we're looking to do this season. Make sure that we've got the final say. If we throw it away ourselves, then we've certainly got no complaints, but if we get through to the last 4 games, looking at the running for both teams, I'd really fancy our chances of getting over the line, though Sousa's conceded possession immediately. We've got a warning to close down Jones Dodd, the right back. He's on a yellow card as well, so hopefully Silla can get a run at him soon and maybe force a second yellow. It's Gruber on the edge for Spurs, out to the right hand side to Jones Dodd again, into Guy's the right winger, who cuts it inside to Nota Francesco. Gruber's unmarked and shoot, but it narrowly whistles over the bar. I think Stojanovic had it covered, but you can never be sure from that angle. 20 minutes to go and it's still quiet at the moment. We're holding on and things have calmed down. Andrade puts a free kick straight into the keeper's hands as Courtney Otte's come on the left for Spurs. A former loanee when we were in the Championship, a really decent left back, and we wish him all the best aside from today. Omar shoots from miles out. It's hit the post. What an effort that was by the Brazilian, but in the end it means nothing as it goes for a goal kick, and with 15 minutes to go, can we hang on for this precious point? I'd never celebrate a draw normally, but this could be the most momentous moment in the series. 5 left, we're going to start making subs. We've got to try and slow the pace of this game down. I want to bring on a winger, but I'm not sure who's best to bring on. I'm going to switch Sousa to the left hand side, and Yaladian's going to come on the right. Against his former club, he may do something special, and hopefully it'll end up winning us the game. We're just going to spread our 3 subs out over a few minutes to make sure they waste as much time as possible. We'll also drop back to a balanced mentality, just to try and make sure we don't get overwhelmed. 1 minute plus stoppage time, Maddie Cater will come off. He's dropped to 70% condition, the worst by far in the team. So on comes Dimitri Lapin in the Mazzala role. He's a player we know we can trust at this level. Charlton's picked up a knock on the left wing for Spurs. As we move into 3 minutes of stoppage time, it's Quirk with a long throw and it's an absolutely terrible one as Gaucho clears long downfield. Hancock into the box running at us. He tries to get it across goal. It's a brilliant challenge from Bruno Moraes and we're going to go and make one more change. It's going to be Alex Andrade. Rutherford will come on up front. Hopefully he's just going to stand around and make himself a bit of a nuisance. We get back into it for the final few seconds and if we see out this corner we will start to time waste. Otte hits it past everyone to Montero. Into Hancock. It's blocked by Backenheads. Sensational defending by the Dutchman and we've now got another corner to defend. In swinger by Otte. Montero's got a free header. It's just over. We've got to go and make these changes. I just can't cope at the moment. We're going to do the usual, time waste all the time, be more disciplined, play for set pieces. We're not going to go short of passing yet, as we still want to try and get in behind. We're going to hold our shape when possession's been won, slow the pace down when the keeper's got it, drop our attacking line of engagement, and not press the goalkeeper at all. Spurs can play it along the back 4, but we want to keep pressing when they reach the midfield. Let's get back into it for 1.5 more minutes, and we're also going to drop to a cautious mentality. The 3 minutes of stoppage time are up now. Why are we still playing, referee? Sousa's got it on the left to Omar, and now could we possibly nick it? He's put it through for Rutherford, but Murdoch mops up, and Carvalho gets it out to Alex. Gruber in midfield for Spurs now. Why is the whistle not going? We've played 40 seconds over and Spurs are coming forward, and I'm really starting to get nervy now. Charlton finds Gaucho, the title's on the line, but Nozov puts it miles over from distance, and I think that just about wraps it up. The final whistle goes, and I am am celebrating a 0-0 as if we won by 10 goals. That is an absolutely sensational defensive performance. Stojanovic and McDonald fantastic. Mon Everson came in and got a 7.3. And that really ugly performance for a point is probably going to win us the title. I could not be more proud of the boys, and we're going to go and tell them that too. Stuart Jelling says we should sympathise with them. Absolutely not. Everyone thought we'd get beaten. Well done for proving them wrong. The lads are delighted and we're keeping the morale up. Hopefully that will pay dividends next week. Aston Villa lost their game against Chelsea. They're our next opponents, so hopefully they're a little low in confidence and we'll be able to get a win against them next week. It was Vladimir helping us out in that one with a 90th minute second to dampen their hopes. So Aston Villa slide into mid-table. Nothing really to play for them. They're likely to be safe at this stage, so hopefully they'll just gift us the 3 points. We're going to have a look at our schedule in a moment, but let's firstly see what the media have said about the game. We're lucky to draw as Spurs had more chances and a little bit more possession, but I'd argue from the match that we saw, there weren't many clear-cut chances. Yes, they had more of the territory, yes, they had a few more shots, but only 1 or 2 really decent chances, and Stojanovic didn't have to make many saves. We're on a 5-match unbeaten run despite a number of draws, and apparently the game was marred by a succession of fouls by Spurs, something we saw last time out against City as well. So 2 episodes in a row we've seen that comment. Maybe sides have found out how they can stop us. We've got another warning about goalless Andrade. 9 hours of football now, the equivalent to 6 full matches. So since he ended his goal drought in the FA Cup 5th round, he's not yet got on the score sheet again. But I really can't tell you how pleased I am with that performance. It has been a fantastic effort from the lads. A really boring, ugly display by our standards. We love playing good football and creating chances, being open and expansive, but we have to show that we can adapt as well, and that's the greatest sign of champions. I really hope we can get over the line. I didn't mention the one negative before the match, and I am going to come to it now, because it's really annoyed me the behaviour of one player off the pitch, and that man is our backup keeper, Shane Mason-Smith. So you may have noticed for today, a really big game we didn't have a backup keeper on the bench, and I'm normally not the type to do that. I'll always put a backup keeper on for the real big games, and Mason-Smith was due to be on the bench today, but he's decided on the day of the title decider, he's going to go to a bar until the early hours of the morning, and it's the second time he's missed either training or a match now, and it's really frustrated me what he's done. So he's been fined 2 weeks' wages, and he said he's got a willingness to improve in the future, as you can see from the follow-up message here, but he said that last time leaving a nightclub just before training, and he hasn't improved as he's done it yet again. This time he missed the biggest match of the season, and I'm starting to think he might be a problem. We did pay £20 million for him, so I want to try and recuperate that, but he's worth 33 according to the valuation, so maybe we'll be able to make a profit there. But the real player that's upset us there, he is complaining about no first team football, but how can I give him the responsibility of playing when he can't even turn up to training or matches? But that's a small negative side note to end on, and he's not going to detract from that brilliant performance. Probably one of our ugliest displays on camera, but certainly one of the most valuable, as it could well secure the Premier League title. So we've got 4 games remaining this season, and as I said towards the start of the episode, if we do get a chance to come back beforehand to win the title, or potentially lose it for sure, we will come back and show another episode. If not, we'll be back for the Chelsea game. Hopefully it won't be that, otherwise it means it's gone down to the wire, so I'm really hoping we can wrap it up against Bournemouth or Everton, and Tottenham will drop some points along the way. But if you did enjoy this episode and that fantastic gritty performance, I know it's a very different style of play to normal, but it certainly was effective. Please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of our other side there. We obviously don't show our defensive performances too often, and we don't usually have to drop to that style of play, to be honest, but it really did work and get the job done today. A boring 0-0 is exactly what we needed. We've got 3 more games that we should be winning on paper before we have that difficult Chelsea one, and Tottenham have got an absolute nightmare running, so hopefully they'll drop a few points too. Let me know where you think we need to improve in the summer, and what I should do with Shane Mason-Smith. He really has frustrated me. I'm determined not to focus on it though. We'll get through the 4 games in the run-in, and then we'll deal with it after that. But let me know what you think the best action is. Do I just sell him and accept he won't don't improve. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from this Torquay United story. Don't forget we're on the second week of our new schedule now, so every Sunday to Thursday at 4:30 we'll have an episode from this Torquay United save, and obviously the next couple are going to be crucial as we could wrap up our first Premier League title. Also keep your eyes peeled on Saturdays on the channel, as over the next few weeks we will have some news for FM20. Firstly, our plans for the game, what we're intending to do, the series we've got planned, and then also reaction to some of the announcements as new features will get released in September. There's also 3 episodes a week from my Cricket 19 career. That's every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday. A massive thank you to everyone that continues to support that series, as well as the Ashes Test playthrough we did beforehand. I really can't thank you enough for giving them a try, and I hope you continue to enjoy the content. There's also weekly Snooker 19 career mode videos. That's every Friday at 4:30. We're into the last tournament of the series now as we try to emulate Ronnie O'Sullivan. We're playing in the Snooker World Championships and we want to go all the way to the final and win it. So join me over the next few weeks to find out if we can do so. But in the meantime, I'll see you tomorrow for a crucial title decider as we try to win our first Premier League in our 16 years at Torquay United.